12 monkeys. Wait, here. Here, do you see it?
I always liked 12 Monkeys, the cult classic sci-fi from the 1990s. Peak Bruce Willis, young Brad Pitt, the weird and wonderful mind of director Terry Gilliam. So when I stumbled across the TV show adaptation, I kept scrolling. I've seen the 2-hour movie. Why would anyone want the same story rehashed and retold over 40 hours on TV? Not me, that's for sure.
Engage.
That was until I saw Star Trek Picard Season 3. It single-handedly salvaged what until then had been a truly awful show. It had smart writing, a coherent vision. Who'd have thought it? There was still a bit of life in Star Trek yet. Who did I have to thank for this little gem? Some guy called Terry Metellus. Okay, you have my interest. What have you done before this? Okay, let's do this. First things first, this isn't the movie. This time traveler guy isn't Bruce Willis. This crazy lady isn't crazy guy Brad Pitt. This show takes the bones of the basic premise and then runs off in its own direction. A virus wiped out most of humanity, a time traveler trying to figure out how to stop it, a mysterious group called the Army of the 12 Monkeys. That's it. That's where the parallels end. The show does its own thing. Forget everything you think you knew.
We had a one-shot deal. I go back in time, I kill a man for you, and it's all over for me. I get erased.
Cole is our hero, with a chip on his shoulder. He was part of a scavenger gang, and he feels guilty about all the bad things he had to do to survive. Rayleigh is our audience point of view character, at least to start with. She's a 21st century virologist at the CDC.
Mr. Cole, did you find him?
Jones invented time travel. She's like the boss mommy, who tells Cole what to do and sends him on his missions.
Cassie.
And Ramsey, he's Cole's buddy. He's kind of like his life coach, his moral compass. He's got this cool, gravelly voice, and is all like, "You just gotta tell her how you feel, brother."
Yes. Seriously. Take a shot. Worth the risk.
There's also this crazy lady. She's a sometimes friend, sometimes foe. And there are the clear antagonists. The tall, creepy guy with the flower fetish. The sinister lady who force feeds people psychedelic tea. And a few others. So I know what one of your big questions is. How does time travel work in this? The answer? About every way you can think of mushed together. It's nuts, it's quite an achievement. Okay, Cole travels back on his first mission and meets a guy who says, "Hey, I already met you back in the 1980s.
1987.
That makes it Terminator style, right? Where the actions of time travelers are already baked into the timeline we're experiencing, right from the start. The problem is, that means Cole can't change anything, right? Because if he did, the changes would have already happened. But wait, sometimes his actions do change things. Like in Back to the Future. You do something in the past, and the present you come back to is different now. This might seem contradictory, but it isn't. Sometimes Cole changes history, and sometimes what he did was always meant to happen. The other ingredient is Bill and Ted time travel.
What? How?
By that I mean, when you're time traveling, events are still moving back where you came from.
Most important, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, that clock, the clock in San Dimas, is always running. Got it?
So let's say Jones sends Cole back to 2015. 5 days later, if she presses the button to bring him back, he'll return having experienced 5 days in the past. Later on, things get really crazy. There's some people who remember the old timelines even after things change. There's even a little bit of quantum leap style time travel, but we won't get into that right now. Somehow, the story makes all of this stuff fit together. It just works. This show takes risks. It'll take a chance that you might start hating one of the characters, if that's the most interesting place to take the story. The whole thing is incredibly high stakes. The fate of human existence. It means everyone's morality and motivation is totally warped. A lot of it stems from Jones. She's willing to do anything to achieve her goals. She makes it clear that this is humanity's only chance.
The virus has mutated twice since we left. Not even the immune can survive another one.
That sets us up to accept that anything the characters do is somehow justified. Did she have a bunch of failed attempts at time travel before it worked out with Cole? Well, I guess it's worth it to save humanity. But what about people in the past?
Remember your mission. Everything else is secondary. Everyone you see is already dead.
Oh, okay, so murdering people in the past is justified too, I guess. Bad people though, right? Yes, bad people. But also good people, who've done nothing wrong. Every character has to grapple with this twisted worldview. And we do too. Do we condone it or condemn it?
I trusted you.
But at least we know their motives are pure and selfless. They're noble. It's all for the greater good, right? Well, that's when they throw in a twist. Now, if I piqued your interest, go watch season 1. I'll be right here when you get back. If you need a little bit more convincing, I'll tell you about some of the... There are 3 really good twists in season 1 that upend everything we think we know about what's going on. The first centers on Jones's motivations. It turns out she's in this for selfish reasons. See, she had a daughter who died in the outbreak. She wants to bring her back at any cost. This is a good one, because it makes us reassess what we thought we knew about her, but it's nothing compared to the next one. In a later episode, we're introduced to another outpost in the wasteland. They're taking a different approach. They also have access to a power generator and supplies, but they're using it to search for a cure. They're looking forward, while Jones is looking backward. Throughout the episode, we take it as a given that their approach is naive.
Foster did find a cure. To the virus of 2033. The strain that destroyed Spearhead. Not to the one we are facing now. Not to the next mutation, not the one after that. All you managed to do is cure a strain that's already dead.
But see, Jones burned out her generator, and she needs theirs. Here's where we see how ruthless she is.
You were the most brilliant woman I had ever known.
But I was also something else.
And what's that?
A mother.
And just as we're processing this, we get the real bombshell.
What about Jones? What would she do for her mission?
Anything.
Have you considered that maybe she lied to all of you? Maybe she's only out for herself.
Maybe there is hope humanity can survive the virus. At least there was until Jones wiped it out. She just doesn't care about a future if her daughter isn't in it. The last twist is a really big one. Okay, here goes. Remember Ramsey? Cole's buddy, the moral center of the show. Well, he discovers he has a son he didn't know he had. Now he starts to thinking, what happens if Cole succeeds? If this future is erased, won't his son cease to exist?
She succeeds in his mission.
He's gone.
Maybe he'll have a better future.
I'm his father. Maybe not good enough.
It's this revelation that puts him in opposition to Jones and Cole. Even though he's driven by the same motivations as Jones, his love for his family.
The plague happened. My son is the future. Your daughter is the past.
So Ramsey zaps himself back to the 1980s, hooks up with the Army of the 12 Monkeys, and he becomes the architect of the outbreak. It's such a great twist. Jones's meddling with time is what causes the outbreak. Jones writing off the future in favor of the past is what leads to Ramsey doing the opposite, destroying the past to protect his future. What was it Jones said?
Everyone you see is already dead.
Ramsey takes this to its natural conclusion. Before I go, a small confession. I've not watched 12 Monkeys all the way to the end, but I do know there is a conclusive ending, it didn't get cancelled halfway through, and the buzz online is that it's a really good one. I'll get back to you when I've seen it. Now, you tell me, have you seen this show? What did you think? And have you any hidden sci-fi gems I ought to know about? Tell me in the comments. That's all for this one. I'll be seeing ya.